You stand before the recruiter, 18 years old, a young man fueled by an idealized vision. The Ranger Scroll, a symbol of elite dedication, glimmers in your mind. You sign the papers, committing to a path few dare to walk, unknowingly trading your peace for a legacy etched in blood and discipline. What does true adherence to the Ranger Creed demand of a man's soul? And what remains when the mission is all that's left? Level 1. The Aspirant. Fort Benning. You step off the bus at 0400. The air hits different. Not just the Georgia humidity, but the smell of cut grass and asphalt still warm from yesterday. Ranger Assessment and Selection Program starts before you finish retying your boots. Your body becomes a machine for processing pain. 12-mile ruck marches with 80-pound loads, then straight into land navigation drills through the Georgia pine, compass in hand, no GPS. Sleep is 2 hours, then 1, then none. You learn to piss while moving. You learn to eat a cold MRE while jogging. Your individuality erodes on a schedule. No longer a name, just a number on a roster. You meet others like you, driven and desperate. There is Miller, codename Ghost. Quiet, observant. He moves like he's done this in a past life. You share a cold pouch of ravioli under the rain, neither of you speaking. That is how friendships begin here, in silence, in the shared refusal to quit. The Ranger Creed is painted on the Chow Hall wall. You read it every day until you know every comma. I will never leave a fallen comrade to fall into the hands of the enemy. You think you understand that line. You don't yet. Level 2. The Candidate. RASP ends. You survive. Ranger School begins. Phase 1 is Derby, patrols, ambushes, reconnaissance missions, all executed at a pace that leaves no room for anything but the task. Rations are cut to 1 MRE a day. You lose 15 pounds in 20 days. You lead a patrol. You fail. You get recycled. You start again. Ghost is still there, a silent anchor in the chaos. Then the mountains of Dahlonega in January. Cold rain turns to ice on your shoulders. Rope work on wet rock. Fingers so numb you can't feel the line. One morning, you wake inside your poncho liner with snow across your face. And you laugh. Not because it's funny, but because there is no other response left in you. Then the swamps of Florida. Chest-deep water. The smell of rot. 8-hour movements through the dark with your weapon held above the surface. An alligator passes 10 meters out. You look at it. It looks at you. You both continue on your way. Ghost is still beside you. Every time you think about quitting, you glance over. He is still walking, so you walk too. Level 3. The Operator. The tab is on your chest. The scroll is on your shoulder. You report to the 75th Ranger Regiment, 3rd Battalion. Your first deployment is Kandahar. Direct action. Night raids. The thud of Black Hawk rotors becomes your second heartbeat. Target packet drops at 1800. Wheels up at 2300. Breach at 147. The first time you shoot a man, it is not like the movies. No slow motion. 3 short cracks from your M4 and a shape folds into the corner of a room. You keep moving. You clear the next room. You clear the second floor. Mission complete in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. On the Chinook back, your hands shake. Not much, just enough that you notice. Ghost sits across from you, sees it, gives you a single nod. He says nothing. Nothing needs to be said. The second time, your hands don't shake. By the 5th time, you're eating a Pop-Tart on the ride home, crumbs falling onto body armor, still wet with someone else's blood. After-action reviews dissect every movement, every shot, every breath. You learn, you correct, you get better. Kandahar. Mosul. Raqqa. The desert dust works into your skin like an invisible tattoo. Your world shrinks to the next objective, the next breach, the next stack. The scroll is heavier than you thought it would be. Level 4. The Team Leader. You lead. 4 men depend on your every call. Your eyes, once eager, are now sharp, constantly scanning. A target packet lands on your desk. High-value target. A mid-level insurgent financier operating out of a compound on the edge of a village that doesn't exist on Google Maps. Capture preferred, kill authorized. Secondary objective is a weapons cache in the outbuilding on the east side. Moonless night. You move your team through a field under NVGs, the world rendered in green. Ghost is third in the stack. You see the reflection before your brain registers what it is. Tripwire. Your mouth opens to shout. The blast doesn't sound like a movie. It feels like someone punching you in the chest from the inside. You come to on your back, ears ringing, dust raining onto your goggles. Ghost. His left leg below the knee is no longer where a leg should be. He doesn't scream. He just looks at you, eyes wide, breathing through his teeth. You have 4 seconds to decide. If you push to the cache, you might recover intel worth 10 future missions. If you call extract, Ghost lives. You call the medevac. You run the tourniquet high and tight. His blood is hot through your mechanic's gloves. You speak into the radio in a voice so calm you don't recognize it as your own. The after-action review runs 3 hours. The intel officer doesn't say it outright, but his eyes say it clearly. You left something on the table. Back in your room, you check the lock twice. Lying in the dark at 0300, every time you close your eyes, you see Ghost's leg. Level 5. The Squad Leader. Squad Leader. 9 men, 9 families. You sit in the TOC watching a drone feed on a monitor. Pattern of life built over 3 weeks. The target is a man who goes to market on Tuesdays, prays on Fridays, meets a courier on Saturdays. You don't know his wife's name. You know what time he goes to sleep. JSOC liaison asks if you're confident. You say yes. Strike is cleared. Hellfire. The screen goes white for a second. The collateral damage assessment lists 2 adults who weren't in the packet. The report is filed. The form is signed. The folder closes. That evening, you call home. Your wife asks how your day was. You tell her, "It's hot here." She tells you your daughter learned to ride a bike. You say that's great. You are silent for 20 seconds. She says she has to go. You say, "Okay." You sit on the edge of the cot, phone in your hand, the screen fading to black. This detachment from everything you once held dear. This is the true price of the uniform. She is a stranger now. But you were a stranger to yourself first. You look at the young rangers in your squad. Private Reyes, 19. Specialist Kim, just married last month. They laugh loud in the chow hall. You remember laughing like that once. You cannot remember when you stopped. Level 6. The Platoon Sergeant. Platoon Sergeant. 40 Rangers. You are the bridge between command and the green privates who look at you like you have all the answers. 4th funeral of the year. Arlington. Section 60. Flag over the casket. The mother of the fallen ranger looks at you with the expression of a woman who wants to ask, "Why my son and not you?" but will never put it into words. You render the salute. You keep your face still. You are good at that now. Then there is the incident. Routine patrol in a village. Private Harris, 20 years old, 4 months out of RASP. A figure moves past a window. Harris fires 2 rounds. The boy is 8 years old. He was carrying a plastic bucket. The bucket hits the dirt floor. You reach the scene 40 seconds later. Harris is on his knees, vomiting. You don't yell. You call the medic. It is too late. You call QRF. You sit down next to Harris and put your hand on his shoulder. CID runs the investigation for 6 weeks. You write the incident report. You write what is true. You also write what has to be written so Harris doesn't become the example. Those 2 things do not always overlap. Harris is transferred out. You never see him again. You never learn the boy's name. You never try to. There are some things you do not allow yourself to know. You do not break. You compartmentalize. There is a box in your head, and you put the boy inside it, and you close the lid. You know, one day the box will be full. Today is not that day. Level 7, the First Sergeant. First Sergeant, your company is 120 Rangers. You no longer kick doors. You run the machine, manning rosters, training cycles, disciplinary actions, budget requests. You drink coffee at 0500 and read email until 2300. Saturdays, you're still in the office. Your wife has stopped asking when you'll be home. The classified cable comes in at 14:37 on a Tuesday. Kia, Staff Sergeant Miller, M. Single GSW, Head. Syria, operational details compartmented. You read the name twice. Then you read it again. Ghost. You sit there. The clock on the wall ticks. The air conditioning hums. Someone laughs in the hallway about something. You wait for the feeling to arrive. It doesn't. You remember the small scar above his left eyebrow. You remember how he tied his boots. 2 loops, double knot. You remember the knot in the Kandahar hangar in 2011. You initiate the notification procedure. You call the chaplain. You sign the paperwork. You eat lunch, a turkey sandwich from the cafeteria. You chew. You swallow. Driving home that evening, you stop at a red light and rest your forehead against the steering wheel. You don't cry. You just hold still for a minute. The light turns green. The car behind you honks. You drive on. Level 8, the Command Sergeant Major. Command Sergeant Major. You are the living embodiment of the regiment. Salt and pepper hair, cropped short. The lines around your eyes are deeper now. Uniform crisp. Boots polished. You walk into a room and field-grade officers rise. You advise commanders. You shape policy. You sign documents where every signature means someone is flying somewhere that doesn't appear on a map. You sit in your office at 1900. Laptop glow on your face. Casualty reports. Commendations. Disciplinary files. Retirement packets. Each file is a life. The faces pass through your mind. Reyes, alive, working as a recruiter in Texas. Kim, KIA 2014. Harris, you don't know. Ghost, you know. You look out the window. The sun is setting over Fort Bragg. It is beautiful. You do not feel that it is beautiful. You notice that, and you feel nothing about not feeling it either. Peace is a word you used to know the meaning of. Now it's like a language you spoke as a child and forgot. The scroll is not on your shoulder anymore. It's in your bones. Level 9. The silence. Retirement ceremony. Flag. Shadow box. Speech. Handshake. Done. You drive off the installation for the last time. The gate guard salutes. You salute back. Then there are no more gates. The first week, you wake up at 4:30 every morning and don't know what to do. You walk around the neighborhood. A woman walking her dog looks at you like you're suspicious. You realize you are counting the exits of every house on the street. You take a security consultant job for a firm in Northern Virginia. $220,000 a year. The work is reading PDFs and sitting in meetings. You wear collared shirts. The collar itches. At the grocery store, you stand in front of 40 different olive oils. You cannot choose. You stand there for 8 minutes. You leave without buying any. You still scan the crowd. You still sit facing the door in restaurants. You still wake at 0300 and forget for a moment where you are. Your son is 15. One day he asks, "What you did in the Army?" You say, "Logistics. I moved stuff around." He laughs, bright and easy, and says, "Dad, you're so funny." You smile. You do not correct him. The VA calls you every 6 months. You go. You sit in the therapist's office. You talk a little, not much. Enough that you are not walking down the road that 22 men from your generation walked down. The scroll is a memory. Nobody else can see it. You can. Level 10. The cycle. A young man stands before the recruiter. White t-shirt. Bright eyes. Straight back. On the wall behind the recruiter is a poster. A ranger silhouetted on a ridgeline. Scroll on his shoulder. The sun rising behind him. The young man dreams of camaraderie, of honor, of being part of something larger than himself. He read the Ranger Creed on a website last night and memorized the first 2 lines. He does not know about the Tuesday night in Dahlonega when the snow covered his face. He does not know about the 3 short cracks of an M4 in a room in Kandahar. He does not know about a tripwire. He does not know about Ghost's leg. He does not know about a plastic bucket hitting a dirt floor. He does not know about a cable that arrived at 14:37. He does not know about the 40 olive oils at the grocery store. He signs the papers. He smiles, proud. The recruiter shakes his hand. The young man walks out of the office into the sunlight and feels, for the first time, that he has become something. He is right. He just doesn't know what it is yet. That's a wrap for today. The story you just heard is fiction, but the 75th Ranger Regiment is real. And somewhere right now, a young man stands before a recruiter, his eyes fixed on a poster. Here's the real question, and there is no easy answer. At which level would you have stopped? Drop it in the comments. Subscribe for more. See you in the next one.